making this intro from the end, but had to go ahead and get some stuff fixed on the rear end here. Let's go ahead and walk you through it. Follow along. There it is, the leak at the bottom. So we'll go ahead and remove this. I'm not sure of the nut size on that yet. I'll figure that out. We'll go ahead and get that removed, pull that yoke, and let's go ahead and get that seal switched out. We're just looking at the pinion right now, yoke and stuff. And so I put a mark here and here so I can know where this is facing. But then I also put a mark right here and here, and then on the nut. So realistically, what I need to have happen is, as long as this pinion doesn't slip, I want to count how many rotations I have from this going off. And how I do that is I just will put this in here, and then I'll also put the mark on the socket here and count how many times it goes around to that spot. And so as long as I put everything back, I can count how many rotations. The other thing that I'm keeping an eye on is the amount of threads. So like there's this little baby thread at the end. I'll count as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the 5th one is right where we have it going in. And that way I can keep the same amount of load on this thing. Instead of testing it for a new crush sleeve and use specs and stuff like that, I'm just going to go back to exactly where it was. And this came from Fusion. It's been running amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and trust that they set it up right, because honestly, they'll do a better job than I ever will. All right, I just got that off. That was super tight. I think this is actually a lock nut because it has those things you would normally have. It's really hot. I put some, what did I put on here? Some PB Blaster. Use the heat gun on high. And so it took me to the very top of the key here, where that's at, 17 twists of this getting lined up, and that's where it was. So exactly 17 for me on the rotations. See, once you get to the top, it comes off. So just for my note, now let's see if this, yep, comes off real nice and easy. So that just pulled off. We'll set that down for a second. So here's our seal. This isn't the standard type, I don't think. So normally these yokes on like a regular 14 bolt's got like a lip thingy. So I got a Yukon one. So let's see if this matches up. Let me pull it out. Well, looking at these ones that I got the wrong seal. So it's obviously not the one I'm supposed to have right here. And that one was sleeve for GM 10.5, which is what I have here, to 11.5 with a triple lip seal. So obviously this isn't a triple lip seal, so I got the wrong thing. I'm gonna pull that one out and see if I can go ahead. Well, maybe I should go ahead and just clean it up and see if I can find the right one before I have to pull that out first. Well, I decided not to wait. Oh, there we go. There's all the excess. Pretty sure I overfilled this baby because I didn't want it to run low on me. Ugh. So I'll need this. Man, I wish there was a part number. It was extra tough to get off because it looks like they put some RTV on here, which is good. The extra seal on the red. So they put extra RTV just to be sure that it wasn't going to leak, and it didn't leak on the outside. So that's a dang good thing. But it just leaked around the inner lip. So we'll get this cleaned up. We'll take this to the part shop with me and see about getting the right part here. I'm going to go ahead and do a brief wipe down to get the part number off of this pinion bearing, just so that way I have it. MB02048. That's Timken. Well, I got the area cleaned up and I finally got the correct seal. I had to look up on Fusion 4x4's Facebook page, and they listed a 2286 seal, which I ended up getting. But not every 2286 is this kind of a seal. Because I went and got, I think it was a precision one from O'Reilly's. It didn't work. So I got this off of Amazon. I have a Timken coming too as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and layer the end with some ultra gray, which was what was on the original install. I just cleaned that up, brake cleaned around the lip. I'm stopping the gear oil from coming in because I didn't empty out the diff. I don't think there's any real reason, even though obviously I overfilled this quite a bit. I mean, that's at least a half quart. But I wasn't about to run it dry. I'd rather spend a little extra on diff fluid than spend too much on having to repair a ring and pinion and such. So let me go ahead and get some Ultra Gray on here, and then we'll start tapping it in. Time to slide the yoke back on, and I have it set up so that way it's just straight up. Or do I need to go a tooth? That's the unique part, is getting it right. Does this have a keyed setting, or is it however? Yeah, it looks like it's any tooth counts. So line it up with my line and line up my overhead line with my line, which that looks correct. Now, I still believe this is a locking nut, but I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of red on it and get it rotated on here. Again, it was just set it on here, and then there were 17 it set it on here, and then there are 17 rotations to get it all the way to where I want it. We got a line of the red in there. So let's get this started properly. And we got 17 rotations to do. So one, two, three, 10. Call that 17. Whew! That's my line right there. Lined up with that line right there. Might need a couple little baby bumps more, which is aligned with that line there and there. So we're back to our original spot on here. Don't love the greatest that they painted over everything, but that's okay, it's coming off. So this is now set up. We're done. I'm gonna let everything dry, cure, then I'll top it off. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take my rear drive shaft and get it rebalanced before Trail Hero. At least call around and see if I can get that done. Because right now, all the dents and such that are in it and scraping, which obviously can unbalance it. And if this is unbalanced, if it's wobbling a little bit, that could cause that to leak. So just trying to figure out the source of it. Hopefully this was helpful. It was a pain. And if anything, is just let you see it and maybe get a part number or something like that. So again, this was for a Fusion 4x4 14 bolt rear end that they make instead of like a junkyard pull. And hope it helps. We'll see you guys out on the trail.